Good morning, Mob family. It has definitely been a while. Hope everyone's okay. Let's see who comes to our Mob TV live event and coffee hour without coffee. Hello, Davina. Good morning, Diane. Morning, Malcolm. Good morning, Robert. How are you? Wow. Okay, yes, thank you. Let me just set the timer for our hour and 10 minutes. How's everyone doing? I hope you guys are all doing well. Yes, I am, Diane. Thank you. If you've noticed, I've lost a bit of weight and I'm extra fuzzy because my barber is closed. So I've had to learn how to do all this stuff by myself. It's good to see all of you. Let's see. Wow, Malcolm. What are we wowing, Malcolm? Good morning, Carrie. Hello, Darren. Hello, Trisha. Hello, Richard. Good morning. Good morning, Linda. Davina, have an extra cup just for me today. I have to say, Davina, that I'm better, but I'm sorry that's not going to translate into comma use. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing early. Good morning, Tracy. Hello. All right, so let me do the beginning parts of the show. All right, here we go. Like our YouTube channel, Chris has done great work on YouTube. That's Chris Chrisman. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bitten Peaches Storyteller on YouTube. We have an Instagram page, Bitten Peaches is on Instagram, so follow us there too, please. I'm gonna put excerpts from the book. I'm gonna put up images that I get from some of the artists that are working on Monty and Strong and other stuff. And just I'm gonna start putting up news for Bitten Peaches for upcoming work. So follow us on Instagram. It's at Bitten Peaches. Blood Ascension is out. So don't forget to leave your reviews. Let's see, you guys have been leaving reviews. Let me check because I haven't really been here. The mods have been doing an amazing job keeping the room amazing as usual. Let me see what Blood Ascension is doing. 39 reviews. Come on, guys. We need more reviews on Blood Ascension so we can get more exposure. So let's get those reviews on Blood Ascension. I'll put some posts up on our mob group. I know life happens, especially now in the middle of a quarantine. Excuse me. It's warm where I'm sitting. I like to keep things warm. And so, but please leave a review for Blood Ascension. I know I warned you that it was only part 1, but part 2 is about halfway done. So you guys are going to get it really soon. I just have to do Dragon's Impasse. Let's continue. Blood Betrayal is coming. I'm writing it. It's happening. Just give me some time because I got to do Dragon's Impasse, which has been super delayed because of everything that happened. And Dragon's Impasse is, I want to say about 3/4 of the way done. So, like I said, that one has that weird back and forth with me and John. So I write it, I give it to John. He adds to it. He makes some flourishes. He does some edits. He sends it back to me. I go over it again and all that other stuff, and then I send it back to him, and then it gets ready for the team to read. Something new that we're going to do in this show is add a Q&A at the end. So if you submitted a question into that post that said Q&A, I'm going to pick a few of those questions to answer. So I have a few already picked out, quite a few actually. So but I'm not going to answer all of them, but if you add to that post, if you post on that post, I will pick your question and then answer it. Let's see what everyone's saying. Hello, Dolly. Good morning. Yes, Malcolm, that was clear fluid. This is ice water. Usually it's lemon water. And it's true, I haven't had coffee for, is it a month now? A month. And my brain, a little more, I think 5 weeks. And my brain still functions. It's amazing. You're right. If I started using commas properly, you'd probably wonder if I'm sick again. Hello, Jama. Yay! Yes, I'm looking well. I'm on. My face is a little. I scared John when he saw me for the first time. I was like, "What happened?" I was like, "Yeah, I lost a lot of weight." I mean, I don't know how much I lost because I didn't weigh myself, but I know I've lost weight. So yeah, it's good to see you, Audrey. Those are great questions, by the way, on the Q&A, Audrey. I mean, everyone who posted questions on the Q&A, fantastic questions. Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. Yes, please follow us on Instagram because I'm gonna try and put more excerpts on. Like I've been putting quotes from the books, and there are a few people who put quotes on Twitter. I moved them to Instagram, but I'm gonna try and see if we can make that page on Instagram a little bit more active. So that's the next thing. Chris Mendoz, good morning. Matt, good morning. Welcome. Leanne, welcome. Good morning. Yes, Chris, no coffee. I know it's a scary thought. It's just water. When I was sick, I would go up to Dolly, and this Dolly's the one who nursed me back to health. So I would go up to Dolly. We have a running joke now because all I would say is Gatorade, because Gatorade was actually very good for me when I was ill, or soup, and it was one of those two things. So now I kid her and I go, "Oh, can I have some Gatorade?" But it was just Gatorade, soup, water, and that's all I could have. There was no solid food for about a good 2 weeks, right? I couldn't eat anything solid for about 2 weeks. I mean, I tried and it was like it was a bad idea. And then soup I could do without potatoes because the potatoes tasted like cardboard. It wasn't the potatoes that they tasted like cardboard, but my palate, everything I tasted was off. It didn't taste. It was horrible. So I couldn't eat like really solid things. So it was basically chicken soup, Gatorade, and water. That was my diet. I don't recommend it, but that was my diet. Let's see, who did I miss? Peggy, hello. Benna, hello. Yeah, it's rough, Darren. Oh, so yeah, so I went through, you guys, all of you who drink coffee, coffee, know that if you're a heavy coffee drinker, and I drink coffee when I used to drink coffee, and I'll drink it again, I'm sure. I used to drink coffee every day. So the first few days when you don't drink coffee, you get hit with those withdrawal headaches. And it was rough because I was already feeling ugh, and then I had to deal with the headaches because there was no way I was gonna be able to drink coffee when I was sick. So I got to deal with my body feeling like I had just gotten. I went through like 10 rounds in the dojo with like 5 guys, so I was all beat up, and I was cold and hot, so I would be shivering, but then I had to be covered up. Then I had these amazing fever dreams, and fever dreams for an author are just the characters come out and play, and it's like surreal. And then dealing with a wonderful headache that seized the back of my, like the base of my neck, and just started doing this. And yeah, that was my experience. So that was not something I recommend you going through. It's good to be back, Chris. Thank you. I just want to give a shout out to all the mods, Chris, Joe, Tammy, Larry, and everyone else. The other Tammy, Renee, all the mods who made sure the room maintained the same level of awesomeness and zen that our room is known for. You guys are fantastic, and you guys stepped in. That's why you're mods, because you guys are amazing. That's why you're the pack. And you guys kept the room going the way it needed to go when I was like MIA, because I was out. I was down for a good 2 weeks. And then Dolly, resuscitated me. So it was awesome. Yeah, I missed all of you guys, Benna. So I'm glad to be back. Thank you, Sabrina. Hi, Peggy. It's good to see you too. Davina says she couldn't function without coffee for 5 days, never mind 5 weeks. And at least now I know a good weight loss plan that does not kill us. Yeah, that does not kill us, makes us thinner. I am definitely thinner. Trust me. I don't recommend the Gatorade soup water diet though. Don't recommend it. Good morning, Sabrina. Welcome. Yeah, Chris, I actually learned the taste of purple. I was really having some. I actually wrote some notes down when I was coherent enough, but it was surreal. It was really bizarre. Like, the things your mind is capable of doing to you when you're sick, and not. I want to say not quite in your right mind in the sense of you're not really functioning at your best. There are limiters and filters that you have that fall away, and then you're just open to all kinds of ideas. And I think that's kind of the effect people when they were doing LSD. They kind of look for that. It was very similar to having a very surreal experience. Yeah. Caffeine withdrawal. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Davina. Yeah. Coffee didn't. I didn't try it. I didn't even try it because I knew it wasn't going to be a good thing. Hello, Mary Dot. Hello, Gail. Welcome. Carrie says, I remember Waltz talking to me when I had flu as a child. Yeah, your mind is a very powerful thing. Your brain can do some amazing things, and so you will hallucinate. I was hallucinating. It was like, whoa. I'm feeling great. I hope everyone else is feeling great, Mary Dot. Yes. Good morning, Mary Lane. Davina, your kid is at home with you all day. You have no Zen. I have three at home, four actually. One is older, but I have three little ones. And yeah, it takes a lot to get your Zen on when you have little ones at home because you kind of want to jettison them out the window because they just, they push your buttons and they push you to that point where you're like, okay, I'm about to strangle you now. So get it together. Or it's going to be, two kids. And we'll just say, you got lost or something. Let's see. So Leslie asked, no one in my house got sick. Yeah, Dolly got sick for 3 days way early. And we thought it was just a flu. We didn't realize it could have been the virus. One of the little ones got sick, but she got over it in a day. So we don't think that was anything. And also that's way when they were... So what happened is that the youngest Valkyrie got sick, and that was at the beginning of when they started saying, okay, this is really contagious, and we kept her home for 2 days, 3 days, 2. Mm-hmm. We kept her home for 2 days, and then we said, you know what? Let's just keep her home, period, because we didn't send her back. I think we sent her back once. Mm-hmm. No, we didn't. We just kept her home. She got sick. We kept her home. And then what happened was that they started thinking about closing schools, and we said, you know what, let's just be proactive with this and just keep them home. And so we just kept them home. So she got sick, then Dolly got hit really hard for like, was it 3 days, a week? 3? 2? 3. For 3 days, she was down, like in bed, could not get out of bed. It was like bad for 3 days. And then she recovered really well. And then I got hit, and it was bad. 2 weeks. It was really bad. And then now, but no one else has got sick. That's really good. Rob, welcome. Good morning. Wendy, it's good to see you too. Welcome. Who else did I hope I didn't miss anyone else? If I missed you, I apologize. I'm trying to keep track of the feed and talk and everything all at once. So, Yes. Well, when I was younger, Malcolm says I have to laugh regarding the kids. How often do we want them to go out and play because now they want to go out and we won't, and we want them in. So, my kids go out for a quick run around the block, or they'll stay next to our building, but right in front, with masks and stuff, and just to get outside because they need to go outside. Or they'll walk to the park that's close by. But and then back just to get outside. Good morning, Rebecca. Welcome. Or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are. Davina, that's funny. Ayrton says he knows you wouldn't throw him out of a window. He says you love him too much. I'm like, give it a week. Yeah, about a week. A week is about that time when you're saying, okay, you know what? It's time to eject you from the home. Yes. Good morning, Christy. Welcome. I didn't see Christy when she came in, but welcome. Yeah, Chris, it's true. Some people get it, some people don't. Some maybe asymptomatic. You don't know, which is why staying inside is a good idea because it's not just you getting sick. You don't want to get anyone else sick. Yeah, Mary Elaine, that's the hard part. At some point, the girls were going to the park. All three of them were going to the park, but mostly the girls with Dolly. And at some point they got to the park, and New York City had closed the park, like with gates, like fencing. And they came back so dejected. I'm telling them, you're in a quarantine. This is not time to go to the park. You're not here to have, this is not vacation. But our perspectives are going to be different. Like when they grow up, they're going to remember, wow, I got to stay home. We barely had school. It was e-school, and I got to stay home and hang out. And we're like a whole different perspective of that situation because they don't know the bigger picture of what's happening. They hear about it, but they don't hear about the deaths, and they don't hear about worldwide how many people are getting sick and passing away. So for them, this is like almost like a vacation. They don't get it. Good morning, Tammy. Hello, Tammy Ziller. Good morning. TJ, good morning. Welcome. Good morning, Kristen. Hi, guys. Welcome. Coming in. Hello, Luann. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Davina, you were sick for a few days, and then sick for another couple of weeks. Yeah, it's what happens is that you get like this low-grade fever that doesn't want to go away, and then it has a tendency to get like, it tends the tendency to spike. So you have to be careful with that. So, social distancing, people. Glenn, good morning. Look, Glenn, clear coffee. Hey, maybe they should make clear coffee. Make it look like water. It's great to be here, Barbara. Thank you. That's an interesting name, Barbara Russell Handwork. Fantastic. That's a great name. I like that. Yes. How are things in St. Louis, Glenn? Because I know New York is like, oh, it's really rough right now. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate the review. So if you haven't reviewed Blood Ascension, guys, please do. It only has like 39 reviews. I'm not saying that there should be a specific number, but if you haven't reviewed it, please do so. Again, I'm not asking you to write a treatise or something long and drawn out. You can just say, I did it, or I'm gonna kill Orlando for leaving me with part one like that. Things like that. Although I did warn you. Caffeinated water, see? Caffeinated water. I might have to look into that, Christy. Oh, Leanne, I'm really sorry to hear that you have to work, but please be careful when you go out. Some of those things are essential, and wear your mask, clean your hands, 6 feet away, people away from you, and I applaud you going out and having to do what you had to do, but just be safe. Okay? Because not everyone can stay at home. This is true. Good morning, Wendy. Exactly, Davina. Yeah, perspective is everything. It's like, yeah, like Ayrton, the kids know about the virus. They know that it's deadly. Not that we go around telling them, it's a deadly virus, but they know, they hear that a lot of people have gotten sick and that a lot of people have passed away. We try not to make it the topic of every day, because then you're just going to have very, very sad children in the home, and why would you want to do that? They have different coping skills, so that's not something you want to thrust upon them at this time, Yeah, Glenn, we had overcast days in New York for a few days, so. Oh, okay. So Luann, you're on Stealth Snoop. So if you gotta run out, run out. But thank you for popping in and saying hello. It's awesome. Escape artist. Yes, Wendy. Well, we had to close the dojo. We opted to close the dojo way early, like mid-March, because again, it's having a bunch of students in a confined space, and you don't know who's ill, and then you have parents sitting outside. Again, you don't know who's ill. We just said, nope, we can't. That's not in good conscience. Can we keep the dojo open while this thing is, raging around us? And then in Queens, New York, my neighborhood, Jackson Heights, is the epicenter of New York City, which is the epicenter of the country. So it was like, no, let's not do this because it's going to be dangerous. So we closed the dojo. Let's see. Davina wants to know, how come you aren't back on the coffee yet? That's a good question, Davina. I haven't tried it since I got better, and I really haven't had a desire for it, lately, so we'll find out when I do try it what it does. I mean, I'm gonna go back on Death Wish, so you can imagine what that's going to do. Welcome, Aaron. Good evening, I want to say. A good afternoon for Aaron. Deborah, yes. Thank you for coming here and was it soon be walk time? Oh, that's great. Go out, get a walk. That's great. Yes, fantastic. So, Christy, it's called Water Joe. I'm gonna have to check this out because that sounds awesome. Caffeinated water. I'm gonna have to check it out. Thank you, Christy. I see the link. Yes. Leanne, job requires temperature checks and masks, and you do online grocery shopping for people, so it's worth. Yeah, I mean, every little bit you can do to help is awesome, but try not to do it risking your own life because this is risk. I mean, we've had people in our building who've passed away, neighbors, because they got sick and then they're gone. So this is serious. So don't take it lightly. Oh, Rich. So when you finish with Birth or Death, oh, that's gonna be tough because that one has 3 stories that hasn't been written yet, and I don't even know where it is on the schedule. But Birth is a lot of fun, and it has a spin-off series that comes from that too. Trust me, I keep all this written down somewhere. Christy says, my wife and I have been in 2 months. My hubby is an essential worker here in Michigan doing water main construction. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's essential because water, you got to keep the water going. I mean, there are a lot of essentials happening. The internet has to keep up. So you got, here we got Spectrum, but you got to have all these workers out. So power has to stay on, internet has to stay up. A lot of things that have to continue to happen. And you got a lot of people out there. Not into all the healthcare workers and the nurses and the doctors who are out there, and the janitors and all these people who are out there literally risking their lives so that our society can keep going. So I'm humbled by all these people who do what's necessary. Bye, Luann. Take care. Yeah, Chris. I have a few pictures. I don't know if I can send them. I have a few pictures of people who've gone to Times Square. And if you ever seen the movie with Will Smith, I Am Legend, that's what it looks like. It looks empty. I've never seen Times Square empty. It looks completely deserted in the middle of the day. It's surreal. Yeah. TJ says caffeine will dehydrate you. Yeah, and that's the one thing that I have realized after I got sick is that I have to drink a lot of water. I don't know why my body has shifted that way, but I'm always drinking water. So it's a diuretic, caffeine, and I don't want to start getting into that right now. I don't know. It's not even if the desire is there. Caffeine has always been an acquired taste for me because I love caffeine. I love coffee. But I've been drinking coffee, since I was like tiny. In the community, in the Latin culture, they put coffee in bottles for the kids. Don't ask me why. I don't think that's a great idea, but that's what happens. So I've been drinking coffee for a long time. So taking a break now is not gonna be the end of everything. Going from totally clean for Death Wish, you won't sleep for a week. Yeah, Davina, I don't feel like bouncing off walls. I'm still able to write. I never needed coffee to write. I always drank coffee because I enjoyed coffee. So just take it easy. And like Carrie says, start eating and drinking things as you feel you fancy them. Don't force it. So if I ever feel like, let me get a cup of coffee, I have 5 pounds of Death Wish in the pantry. It's not going anywhere. I mean, Dolly drinks it, but she doesn't drink it as often as I did. I was drinking it every day. Good morning, Matthew Stewart. Welcome. Yes, let's see. Yeah, Chris, if you have sometimes we ascribe our intuition or our vibes or our gut feeling, all of this to kind of like it's way out there, but you have to kind of listen to your intuition. And like walking out of a store while shopping for your folks because of a bad vibe, there's nothing wrong with it if that's what you feel. That's what some people have walked off a plane and then it later went and crashed. You have to listen sometimes to your intuition. Sometimes it's that your brain picks up things that you're not consciously aware of, and then it's telling you this is not a good idea to do this. It happens. Davina says, is there going to be COVID-19 in M&S and how it's their fault? No, I'm not gonna put COVID-19 in any of the books. Sorry. It's too serious, and I don't want to make light of it. And I know sometimes we have gallows humor, and that's how we deal with stuff. But in good faith, put the virus in because it's too sensitive a subject for too many people. Good morning, Craig. Welcome, Mr. Dragon. It was nice seeing you, Christine. Nice chatting. Go play some board games. Yeah, it sounds like fun. I like playing board games. Let's see. Richard says, I think I'm in the majority when I say that. Keep them coming. Yeah, I will. The Assassin's Apprentice has 3 books, and then out of the Assassin's Apprentice, there's another series that spins on because of a character that comes into book 2. So yeah, it's the Assassins. It's the Birth of Death, the Phoenix Rising, and there's another book in there. So yeah, it'll be fun. Davina says, my husband's in food production. When everyone claps for key workers, it's a thing. He always is very enthusiastic to clap. That's awesome. Yeah, here, what we do every day at 7 p.m., we make noise for the healthcare workers and the policemen and the firemen and all the people who do essential work. But most importantly for the doctors and the nurses. Every day at 7 p.m., you'll hear the neighborhood break out in noise. That's pretty awesome. Good morning, Stephen. Welcome. Glenn says, drink 1 bottle of water soon after each big mug of coffee. Yeah, I have to drink the mug of coffee first, and that's, we'll see what happens with that. Welcome. Davina, don't do that. She says that the idea of giving my child caffeine scares me. Yeah, I would never give my kids caffeine. Not now, not at their ages. It's something that you wanna. If they wanna drink coffee later, they can. Let's see. It says, seemed like half of my high school students came to school with a big cup of coffee, or bought one. Yeah, well, that's what happens. So yeah. Richard, that was fast. Sometimes it takes a long time to get reviews up or get reviews approved. So it's interesting. Yeah, TJ says, after I was very sick, I could not drink Coke again. Can't stand it. I think what happens is that your palate changes. Your body shifts. It's like when I was ill, there were certain foods that just tasted off. And it wasn't the food, it was just the way I was receiving my taste buds was receiving the input. So some foods were sweeter than they should have been. And I swore at one point that the water tasted sweet. And it was like, I was like, it tastes great, but I know that this water is not sweet. So I think things were misfiring in my brain. So yeah. I believe that, Davina. Hello, Beverly, and thank you. Well, Davina says that she said somewhere that planes that crash have a higher than average number of no-shows. I believe people listen to their intuition. The ones that listen to their intuition say, nope, I'm not getting on that. And they're not there. Beverly, welcome. First time you're here, so welcome to our Mob D live event and coffee hour without coffee. Malcolm says, will the Turbo Trio avoid New York? Nope. They live in New York, so New York will not be affected by the COVID in the books. So it'll just continue as is. Oh, Craig. Yeah, that's real subtle, Craig. Gideon has a few stories, so yeah, they're coming back. Don't worry. The Black Wolves are out there, so yeah. I have not forgotten about Gideon. Ian, welcome. Thank you for joining us. TJ says, and paramedics, why are actually out in the community working? Yes, they are. They're out every day. They're out on call. You call an ambulance, it will come. We've had ambulances going through racing through the neighborhood every single day since this started. We've had them parked outside. We've had them parked down the block. We've had several at one time, actually, parked in different parts of the block because they're picking people up. So yeah. So it's a new world. It's part of life now, And the quarantine can get to people. You can get cabin fever, and you can get kind of like tired of just being inside all the time. Not me so much, because this is kind of what I do, but I know people who are like, I can't, this is too long, I gotta get out of here. And it's like, no, let's not do that. Let's not do that just yet. Yes, Carrie, medications can do that too, to you also, in terms of changing your taste and your palate. It could just do that. Right, Glenn. Yeah, the big part of coffee's appeal is like I really enjoy the smell of coffee. The taste is good too, but the smell, like when I make coffee, one of the best parts of making coffee is how the house smells like coffee. That was why I used to write in Starbucks because it smelled like coffee the whole day, and that's pretty awesome. Even my clothes would. I'd spend all day in Starbucks and I'd be writing, and then when I would get home, my clothes would smell like coffee. So yeah. So let's see. Rebecca says every 7 years your body changes anyway. Lucky for me, it changes so I can drink coffee. Well, yeah, that's supposedly the accepted truth that every 7 years your body changes or the cells are different. Let's isolate Craig. That coffee, we need to start looking at it. Good morning, Robert. Welcome. Yeah, see, Linda, and that's a good indicator. You can tell when you're really sick that you lose your taste for coffee, and then when you know you're feeling better, you want coffee. So, yeah. On a personal note, anyone close to me get it? Well, let's see. I think my sister might have gotten it, but she doesn't know. And the only ones I think I might have gotten it was Dolly, but she only had it for like 3 days. So I don't know if it was soon. I think we got very, very mild. Even though I was out for 2 weeks, we got very, very mild symptoms, and we were very fortunate that it didn't affect our lungs to the point where we needed to be on a ventilator or have any serious respiratory issues. Yes, Chris, if you have to step outside every day, it's good to have a lot of open space around you to be able to do that. Yeah. Beverly says when my 40-year-old son had COVID, he had no taste or smell. It took almost 4 weeks to begin getting his senses back, and he couldn't eat or drink some things. He's almost back to normal. To hear that he's almost back to normal. That's awesome, Beverly. That happened to Dolly. She lost her sense of smell. Do you still have it back? You have it back yet?
Slightly back.
It's partially back. So she lost her sense of smell, which is great. Then I don't have to take a bath or anything. And I could smell really funky, and she wouldn't say anything. See how that works? Yes, Diane, we do that in New York every day at 7 p.m. We clap and bang pots and make a noise and cheer. It's like a big cheer for all our health workers. So it's pretty awesome. Oh, Davina, yeah, that's another thing that's happening now. Davina says, I have allergies. Everyone gives me dirty looks when I walk the dog and start coughing. It's allergy season now, so Dolly and the Valkyries get hit with allergies. So on top of everything else that's going on and quarantine, now they have allergies too. So it's like, yeah, but the allergies, if you go outside and you have allergies and your eyes are watering and you're coughing, will give you even extra space, probably 12 feet. So, yeah. Wow, Carrie, 3 months. So Carrie stay home for 3 months. With their medical conditions, it makes everything outside the door feel a bit surreal. I believe it. And 3 months, so please stay indoors. Don't go out, okay? Yeah. So, yeah, I would say so, Chris, because we kind of had that symptom of smelling and not being able to smell. And I won't say we developed an immunity to it because, according to some reports, it can come back, so you just have to be careful not to get sick again. Good to see you, Robert. At least you guys can coffee up for me, which is awesome. Good morning, Anthony. Welcome. Hello, Elaine. Welcome. Is it the plague? Is this? Oh, I don't know. This looks like it might be when they put up. Yeah, so I know a lot of people who have allergies, and I feel for you. I haven't had allergies unless I go to my sister's in Virginia, and then it's like I get slammed. I have to be living on Claritin because everything. I got the eyes. I can't breathe. It's horrible. But I still go to because it's my sister's. But when I go to I get hit like with allergies. I really need to be taking. I have to take Claritin every single day. Wow. So Carrie says she's had a chronic cough since last August before the quarantine was put in place. And the crowds in Nottingham parted for you. I believe it. If it's a chronic cough, I can imagine how it sounds. And in that time, people are like, nope, I'm part of that. And so they give you a lot of room. Yeah. See, Davina, you're just like my sister. She says the best part of this in terms of prevention and the mitigation is the social distancing. She doesn't want to deal with people. So if we could just maintain social distancing after all of this that would be it. And I know for a lot of people, that would actually be a good thing. They want to keep things, keep people like really far away. So thank you, Anthony. It's good to be up and around and functioning and writing, which is awesome. Thank you, Barbara. Yes, I'm feeling much better. Dolly's feeling much better. She's the one that kept me going when I was and you know when I was on the bed going Gatorade, soup, or water. So she was the one that made sure I was okay. Wow, Malcolm, really? See, it's told to be at least 3 months. Mother got told of me. Next, wow, that's a lot of time. People gotta have to get used to this. Barbara, that's amazing. Yeah, you're 64 and you work in a doctor's office. You need to stay home. That's a good idea. Your boss was very smart in doing that. Yeah. Here, Chris, for the allergies we do Claritin, Benadryl, Zyrtec. What else do we do? Allegra.
No, just Claritin.
Just Claritin and Zyrtec. We just do Claritin and Zyrtec. I don't get allergies here, but I do get allergies in Virginia. So, oof, yeah, I get really bad allergies in Virginia. I don't know why, because I mean, I have a dog, and my sister has 4 pit bull rescues, but it's not the dogs, it's Virginia itself. The moment I land, I get off, and I'm in Virginia, the air assaults me, and it's like I start tearing up, and it doesn't take long, like maybe an hour before symptoms start appearing. So I take Claritin away to Virginia. That's how bad it is. That might be it, that I'm desensitized to the local pollens because I grew up here. So they may not affect me. That's awesome, TJ. Yeah, it's good to see. In the midst of all of this, it's good to see that certain parts are still functioning and happening, and you get to see nature. Like you're seeing, TJ saying she sees the lilacs are blooming, and the trail is greening, and it's good to see the seasonal changes too. It's good to see all of that because when you look outside, if this were in the middle of winter, it would be so bleak, But the fact that we're in spring, you can look outside and you see the trees are getting leaves back. You can see grass, you can see flowers, and it kind of makes it not so bad because you get to see the rebirth of nature. So it does change it a bit. Although, again, for those of you with allergies, I feel you. Yeah, Leanne, where are you? Where the tree pollen is an evil beast. Chris, you may not want to word it that way. That sounds like a tool. Chris says wives are handy to have around. Yeah, they can kind of save your life. So yes, they're very handy. Yeah. Cedar pollen. See, I've never been to Texas. The clouds of cedar pollen in Texas. Okay, see, anything where it sounds like that sounds really bad. So no. Yeah, Malcolm, I was thinking just that. Now, because now, think about it, Mob. Dating is going to be really hard. What are you going to do? I need to check your temperature first. Have you had COVID? It's how is it going to happen now? That's going to be interesting. Finding someone to be with, finding a partner, or going out on dates. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be the new, I'm post-COVID, are you? Kind of thing. So, Cortisol or vodka. That's interesting. So let's see. Plus a shot. Yeah. Oh, I get it. Okay. I think you could do the cortisone followed by the shot of vodka. There you go, Chris. That was a good one, Dolly. Yeah, Rebecca. I have to load up with Clarendon before I hit Virginia, so I'm loading on there because yeah, I think the day before would be better. But I'm not going to Virginia anytime soon, much to my sister's distress because there's no traveling. So not happening. Yeah, Robert says someone has to take one step towards me to touch me with either hand or foot. That's just good situational awareness, Robert. That's excellent. Yeah, that way you can keep people at a certain distance. And now with the virus, you can keep people further away. So true. Yeah, Davina. It's happening in this country too. Davina says the nature is nice, but at least if it was in the winter, people wouldn't keep going out for picnics, sunbathing on the beach. Bloody COVIDiots. That's a good one. COVIDiots. I'm gonna have to keep that one. Um, Here in this country, we have protests for who are. Here's what I don't understand, and we're not gonna get political because we don't do politics in the mob. But think if staying home has helped flatten the curve or has helped mitigate the illness, wouldn't it make sense that if you're going to get together and protest, you're going to prolong the very thing that you're protesting? It doesn't make sense to me. And it just goes to show that there are some very not smart people out there. So, yes. Wow, Chris, that's serious. You have serious allergies. So Chris says he drove out to the lake. 2 hours later, I was home laying down, couldn't breathe. Yeah, that's the worst thing about the allergies is the way that it affects your breathing. So, yeah, that's not fun. It's not fun at all. I've never had asthma. I've never had respiratory issues, but I have seen people with it, and it's not good. To feel like you're gasping for air, you can't see, your eyes are running. Ooh, yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. Let's see. So after blood betrayal, I'm gonna take a slight pause and write Monty and Strong 11, if that's okay with you, and then jump into Blood Rule, which is the third and final part of the Rule of the Council. But Monty and Strong has to be written because that one is scheduled to go to the editor at some point in June 8th, if I'm not mistaken. So that one has to be written, like it's no joke. It's a hard one. And so I'm gonna do Blood Ascension, Blood Betrayal. Blood Ascension's done. Blood Betrayal is gonna be really soon, and then Strong 11. And that one's gonna start. Wow, you guys are gonna really wanna kill me with the way that one starts, but it's really good. Trust me. Yeah. So let's see. Common sense is becoming less common. This is true. Yeah. Yeah. I know, Dan, that protests are demonstrating the difference between science and belief, but the science is really clear in this case, you know? So, Glenn says, my wife and I have discovered, or maybe termed, that she needs more people contact. I'm just fine being home, being physically close to people. Seems like she's more an extrovert, and I'm even more introvert, and maybe she's more social, and I'm less social than we thought. Some people need to have social contact. It's part of who they are, and some people don't really need it. We're all social creatures, just some need it more than others, and so I've never really needed a lot of social contact, so I'm fine. But there are people who need to go out there. Yeah. Good morning, Rhiannon. Welcome, or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. Yes, Davina, that's true. Yeah, I was gonna say, Barbara, who's Minty? But I got what you're saying. I read typo E's. Don't worry. I do. I do. Monty. There you go. Good morning, Mark. Welcome. Darren says he really enjoyed the fight scenes in Blood Ascension. Yeah, I tried to make them interesting. They're a little different. The actual story of Blood Ascension is different because I think I was talking to Dolly or something Dolly this at the time. At some point, Michigo goes to the Central Archive, and so prior to that, in another story, Ronan went to the Central Archive, and so I had to make sure that the perspectives were different. So the way Michigo would experience the Central Archive is different from the way Ronan would, because Michigo has history and Ronan has a certain history as well. And the fight scenes, the way they fight, the way Michigo is different from the way, let's say, Simon or Monty or any other characters would fight. So, just trying to tailor the fight scenes to the character. Let's see, Carrie says a great time for us introverts. Yes. Very true, Carrie. Very true. Glenn says this qualifies and works for me as social contact. Well, in a way, it is social contact. We're speaking to each other. It may not be seeing you, you're seeing me, but it is social contact. Why do I keep seeing angry faces? Who's angry? Don't wake up angry, guys. It's not good for you. Let's see. I'm talking about mint tea, which is if I drank tea, I think I tried tea, right? Once when I was sick. I tried tea once when I was sick. I had chamomile tea, right? It was chamomile?
I don't know, it was special. Dandelion.
Oh, it was a mix of chamomile, dandelion,
and the red tea rooibos.
And rooibos red tea, and I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna do it for me. But I did try tea. I used to be a big tea drinker. It's just that no longer. Sorry, it wasn't gonna happen. But yes, I did try it. Nothing against those of you who drink tea. I think it's awesome. It's just not for me. So, yeah. So, what is that saying? Yeah, I felt that, and the description. Yeah, I tried to see the way Michigo would fight as a vampire is very different from the way, say, Simon would fight or Monty would fight. Obviously, there's no magic components, no throwing spells around or throwing orbs of flame. So it would be more of a bladed thing. It would be more, and obviously Alexa used a gun, except that the gun was neutralized because it was inside the Randy rump. So they're gonna fight a little bit more. I guess I would say like Matrix, like if you remember the Matrix, how they would fight with gunfire, and there was swordplay, more along those lines, a little bit more conventional. Although the Soul Splitters have runes, Michigo makes it a point to be somewhere where those runes are not functional because it's dangerous, and she wouldn't want to be cut by a blade when the runes are working. So yeah. Really? Wow, Davina. Davina says every time Michigo, her internet glitches slightly and blanks the word, similar to a radio with a song containing swearing. Even my internet doesn't. That's right, Davina. I'm so sorry. You don't like Michigo. I don't know what to tell you. Yes, Malcolm. I learned how to pronounce it long ago. Rooibos. It's the way it's supposed to be pronounced. It's actually very good. They make very good tea, but I'm not a tea drinker. Sorry, I can't. I could drink. Let's see. I could drink black tea, and I can drink green tea, but those also have high caffeine contents. That's probably why I can drink them. But yeah, I can't. Coffee is really where I have to go in terms of that. Dan says what you described isn't really tea. Well, yes, you're right. Tea has a specific way of being. So yes, you're right. It's not really tea. But oh, Craig. See, Craig says tea was a delivery method for terrible medicines as a kid. That's just torture. So no tea for me. I can understand the bad, the trauma, the bad memories. Yeah, totally get it. Hello, Leslie, and welcome, Robert. Well, Barbara Earl Grey, hot is a good tea. I just can't drink it, but it's very good. That's why Monty drinks Earl Grey. No apologies necessary, Cynthia. Thank you for being here. You made it for the last like 20 minutes, so it's good. But delivering meals by school bus, that is awesome. Don't worry. That's more important than this. So you do what you got to do. I see, Wendy. I've never heard that effect with green tea, that it makes your stomach hurt so bad you can't take it. But I guess we all react differently to things like that. I like green tea and I like black tea. Those are the only two things, the only two teas I think I could really drink if I were to drink tea. But they're pale comparisons to coffee for me. So, and I drink my coffee black, sometimes with sugar, sometimes without. It depends on the mood. Usually I drink it with sugar just to kind of cut the bitterness a bit. But yeah, I'll drink my coffee black. I can't drink tea without sugar. Yes, if you're gonna watch this on YouTube, please comment. Say hey, hello, nice video, whatever. Do all of that stuff, please. Let's see. Maybe I can pretend this is coffee. I could drink it and go, yes, good coffee. Yeah, and I take no personal offense when it doesn't like one of the characters that I write, Davina. So don't ever worry about offending me. And I don't mind that you don't like her. I think it is a compliment. Davina says, I like not liking her though. It's a compliment. She's good enough character for real dislike, not a meh type of dislike. Yeah, I mean, when Ronan was doing the things he was doing in one of the last photos, people were like, oh, he's such a jerk, an ass. And that's fine, because that's the way he was being written, to be that way. And most characters are polarizing. So it's either you really, really like them or you really, really dislike them. And it's like Peaches. Everyone loves Peaches. No one can ever say, oh, Peaches, I don't like that character. Peaches is like amazing. I've never encountered that with any other character, but everyone who comes across Peaches loves Peaches. And so that's just the way it is. And so not everyone loves Michigo. That's it. Good morning, Alicia. Welcome. Oh, I'm glad you didn't miss it either, Mark. If you're doing barbecue and you happen to do some skirt steaks, let me know. I'll pop over and pick some up. Irish tea. Doesn't Irish tea contain alcohol, Glenn? Or no, am I mistaken? I thought Irish tea had some alcohol in it. And a splash of coffee creamer, that's not gonna work for me. Sorry. I don't even put milk in my coffee, so. Yeah, I think so too, Chris. Chris says Peaches is a talisman. Peaches is pretty amazing as a character and as kind of a representative of the stories. Everyone says, oh, Simon, Monty, but I think Peaches is the real star of the Monty and Strong series. So, but that's just my opinion. Oh, Chris, yeah, thank you. Yeah, everything Irish has alcohol. No, but I've really heard that Irish coffee has some alcohol in it. Like you brew it, you make it, and then you pour a little bit of alcohol. But I could be mistaken. It could just be a misconception on my part. But the Irish do have a reputation for drinking a lot of alcohol. Just so you know. Oh, okay, Glenn. Thanks. That's Irish coffee with the alcohol. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I can start drinking Irish coffee early in the morning with alcohol. That would definitely affect or impair my performance to write. This is true, Carrie, and Carrie says you need balance. If you didn't have someone to dislike, it wouldn't feel real, even with naturals. I get a lot of mixed feelings about Hades too, because if you think about it, Hades is a real catalyst for a lot of the things that have happened in the Monty and Strong world. And so I got a lot of people who like Hades, and I get a lot of people who can't stand him because he's behind the scenes pulling all these strings. And so yeah, but you gotta have balance. I think Hell Has No Fury was a good book in terms of revealing a little bit more about the character behind Hades and how he is and how he reacted to Persephone being kidnapped. I like Married Out. Says Peaches is love. Michiko is eh. Yeah, and that's fine. I have no problem with how people react to Michiko. I only hope that in her current stories, I can reveal a little bit more about what motivates her to be the way she is. That's all. Glenn, I don't do creamer at all. Glenn says I don't mix my tea and my coffee, but I like the same creamer in each. Yeah, I don't do creamer or anything that's gonna like make it milky. Ugh, no. Cynthia, welcome. Did you leave, Cynthia? Or did you get booted? Yeah, Davina, I have one right next to my desk, right here. The dragon, my end is on the other side. Can you guys see that? It's weird because I'm inverse, peaches, or it actually says peaches. If you can see that. Peaches. The focus is a little bit off. And then on the back is the Vitruvian dragonfly. So I have that right on my desk. Next to my other, this is the PPD, my PPD coin. So that's awesome. So I have those two on my desk. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I think Rebecca says Peaches is an ideal friend, and it's true. I think Peaches is pretty awesome. Audrey, you're right. Hades has going on, and there's a lot behind the scenes that's going to start getting revealed more and more. Mark, I enjoy the interaction between Peaches and Frank. What I'm gonna really enjoy is when Simon catches up with Frank to have a few words about Peaches' education. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Davina says, I like Hades. If I was making a list of which characters I like to have coffee with Hades, yeah, I like to sit down with Hades. I was reading, what was I reading the other day? Shadowstrut was the second book in the Night Warden. And I was like, wow, that story is really good. But the way Hades shows up in Shadowstrut and in the Night Warden series, it's really different in a way from the way he shows up in the Montague and Strong series. And it's really interesting how those series, even though they have common touch points, they're so different. And I was reading it and getting into it, and I was like 15 minutes later I was like, oh, wait a minute, why am I reading I'm reading this like I haven't written it. But I could see why people like the Night Warden stories so much. He's a lot of fun to read. Good morning, Sharon. Hello. Yeah, I get that too, Davina. A lot of people with Ezra is like, why is he so cryptic? Because he's deaf and he has to be cryptic. And maybe sometimes he has to keep things hidden. So he wouldn't give you a straight answer. He'd give you some pastrami, knowing Ezra. But yeah, Glenn, and that's not even Excel. So Glenn says I couldn't afford to feed Peaches, so not an ideal friend for me. No one can afford to feed Peaches. You need to be able to create sausage on the run. So Davina says I really like Honor. Yeah, you get Honor in book 2 of Rule of the Council in Blood Betrayal. Honor is there. He makes a cameo because she has to go to the Central Archive for something, or she has to deal with Honor in regards to a ritual. And so she's not going to call Monty, and she's not going to call any other mage. She's not going to call Eric. Eric is part of the Dark Council. So she calls Honor. But that's as much as I can tell you. But Honor is an awesome character. I like Honor a lot. 8 minutes to wrap. No, we're going 10 minutes extra because I'm answering questions today, Craig. Let's see. Wow, Carrie. Carrie says her son spends 60 pounds a month feeding his Great Dane, and he's not bottomless. That's a lot a month. That is a lot. Hello, Sharon. It's good to be here. Thank you. Yes, like I said, I've gotten a little skinnier, but yeah. Yes, 3 minutes, and then we're answering questions, Craig. We're answering questions for 10 minutes after the hour. So we added 10 minutes. It's an hour and 10. So I'll try to get through the questions fairly quickly. Darren says Night Warden is great. I like the dark stories. Yeah, like I've always said, to get into the Night Warden writing mode, I guess, I have to get into a different headspace because it's not lighthearted like Monty and Strong. Not that Monty and Strong is, rainbows, but Night Warden is a lot darker than Monty and Strong. Alright, I guess I should start with the questions just in case I run over. I'm going to try not to run over. We've got 12 minutes left. 1 minute in the normal hour and then 10 minutes. So let's get to the questions. Rebecca asks, what's with the ashes in the sun? Okay, Rebecca. It's not an insult. It's a homage, or it's a ritual called the dawning that lets that vampire, even in their death, finally greet the sun, because it's something that's been taken away from them. So when you say I'm going to make you greet the sun, it could be a threat in the sense of I'm going to kill you for a vampire, but it's also the least. It's an honor in the sense of I'm going to have your ashes greet the sun. So it's almost like a return back to normality. As a vampire, they can't be in the sun, so to have the ashes greet the sun, it's an honor, like the way you would honor a fallen enemy. And so when I say I'm going to have your ashes greet the sun, I'm going to give you the highest honor I can give you as a vampire. You're going to go back to being able to be in the sun, even if it's only as ashes. So that's what that means. I hope that answers your question. May says, where the heck do all the ideas come from? Have I visited Japan or any other Asian country? Well, May, the ideas are always there. It's like a spigot that's always flowing, and I kind of have to always write them. I don't know where they come from. No self-respecting author will tell you the ideas come from X, because no author can tell you where the ideas come from. They just come. I think you kind of have to be receptive to them and open to ideas coming. And sometimes they're outlandish and crazy, and sometimes they're not. And sometimes even the outlandish and crazy ones are good too. But as for the Asian influence, I've been practicing arts for 33 years now. And I grew up, even prior to those 33 years, I grew up with those. I don't know if you guys remember the Saturday afternoon Kung Fu flicks that were horribly dubbed. And they would say, so, I'm going to attack you now. Things like that. And so I grew up watching martial arts. I grew up wanting to be a ninja. And then I really got into formal martial arts and I've been doing it for 33 years. And so that Asian influence is going to naturally spill into everything that I do. It's just part of who I am. So, and I think I'm even doing Japanese on Duolingo. So there you go. Although I haven't done it in a while because I was out for a bit. I hope that answers your question. No, I have not visited Japan or any Asian country, but I do know a lot of Japanese people from my studies in martial arts. So, yes. So that's where the influence comes from. Sharon asks, where do you get inspirations for Monty and Strong? Wow. Geez. Monty and Strong kind of sidelined me when I was in the middle of Sepia. Yes, it will get written this year. And so I was writing Sepia Blue. I was after the third book, and the whole first interaction with Monty and Strong just assaulted me. Had this idea, an angry mage, an immortal detective. They're going on cases together. And you can almost say it's a distillation of all the buddy cop movies I've watched, everything that I grew up with. And it just kind of expressed itself that way because I was already in the genre. And if you think about everything that I've written, Spiritual Warriors, everything that I've written up to Monty and Strong was kind of getting me ready for Monty and Strong. The closest being the Chronicles of the Modern Mystics with Ava James, and then that's very similar to Monty and Strong. And it was like the step right before jumping into the Monty and Strong world. And yes, I think I will finish that series too, but not this year. Okay, let's see. Audrey had a lot of great questions, so I'm going to just pick a few and then I'll answer the other ones. If you keep posting questions on that post, we'll find it and then I'll keep answering questions. Or we'll just keep doing that and then we'll get the questions. So, Audrey asks, how do you measure success for an individual book? If people read it. That's simple. Every writer wants to be read. So, success for an individual book or for any book is if you have people read your work. I think for any writer that would be the ultimate success. And do I have any trouble writing female characters? No, I was raised by a Valkyrie, so I don't have any trouble. My mom was fierce because my dad passed away when I was 7, so she had to raise 3 kids by herself. I have no trouble writing female characters, and so That's it's not it's for me it's never been difficult to imagine that, you know. It's not that I go and I'm connected to my female side, but I know how certain kinds of females would react in a situation. So my mom was tough, and I have Dolly who is awesome with the kids, and so she could be tough and she could be nurturing. So I know how kind of how the female persona interacts, and I like writing female characters that are tough. I've never written damsels in distress. I don't think I ever will. So that's just the way I am. I've never had an issue with it, and I've written quite a few female. Okay, I hope that answered two of your questions already. I think you had like five. Christine Chrisman asks, female characters, where does that come from? And oh, the inspiration for I think it's just a matter of that I was raised by a strong woman, and I've been around strong women my whole life. Some of the people when I was coming up in my martial arts, the instructors were female, and they would trounce me. So I never had any illusions about women being strong. Women can be very strong, and then uh, just in general, I've always had strong women in my life, so that's never been hard for me. The inspiration. Have any of my characters been based on Dolly? In the Spiritual Warriors, yes. If you can find out who it is, you get extra internet points. But there's a character based on Dolly in the Spiritual Warriors. So if you can find out who that one is, I'll give you extra internet points. How's that? So yeah, those are the questions. I kind of flew through those questions. So we got 5 minutes. Let's hang out for 5 more minutes and talk. Let's see. Leanne, bye. I hope I caught you. Bye, Leanne. Bye, Craig. Have a good Dragon Day. Furo DM, yes. Enjoy the day. Bye, Trisha. So Rebecca says, so why did he stop repeating the ritual? Oh, you have to read the story, Rebecca. I'll tell you. Can't tell you. Are you mean Norin on top of because he wants to kill her? And so he didn't really care about the ritual at that point. His orders were to take her out. So let's see. I saw it as the vampire version of someone wanting the whole body to burn. No, it's very much like the analogy I make in terms of the ashes and the sun is like when you spread ashes out to sea, that kind of thing. It's similar to that, Davina. Glenn says, love those kung fu movies. Yeah, me too. So I grew up on those things, and I still watch them. You know, so Netflix is your friend. Chris says September 2016. Yes, that's probably when it started, for sure. Darren says, yes, Sepia was the first books I read of yours, and now I'm years in. It's amazing how time flies, huh, Darren? Sepia, the last Sepia book that I wrote, which was, what's the Sepia book? I think it's Nameless. That was years ago. It doesn't feel like years ago. It felt like last year or like months ago. It's amazing. Davina says some stories just want to be written. They just have to find the right person to do it. I agree. Some stories do just want to kind of they hunt you out. I've had stories, even Monty and Strong stories, where it nagged me, and I was in the middle of another project, and it nagged me, until I had to write something of the story, an outline, a chapter, something that kind of said, okay, I'm going to start that story at some point. Yeah. I know Chris says I started with Sepia Blue. I know a lot of people who started with Sepia Blue as an introduction to everything else. It's interesting. Yeah. Davina says, I'd bet you'd struggle to write a weak victim type female. I think my brain would rebel at writing a weak victim type female. I have never written a weak female. Never. I have daughters too, so I don't ever want them to later on read my books as adults and go, why did dad write this woman? She's too dumb to live. What's going on? You know. So I want them that when they eventually read the books, that they go, wow, yeah, I want to be a badass just like that. Yes, there you go, Chris. A quest for Dolly. Exactly. From Sepia to Monty and Strong isn't that much of a gap actually. It's just it's just a jump to the left, and then a jump to the left and a step to the right. That's all it is. But then far removed. And in the following two Sepia books, because if you recall, Monty and Strong's world shifted, the veil between Sepia and Monty and Strong is thinner, and they might pay her a visit in her world. So that'll be fun. Wendy, it's great to have you. Thank you. Like a minute left. So you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being so awesome. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate all of you. It's good to see all of you again. It's good to be back. Oh, Glenn, you had a great intro. That first Night Warden book, Wander, was amazing. I'm not saying it because I wrote it, but I was reading Shadowstrut. Like I said, I was reading Shadowstrut the other day, and I was like, wow. And I had read an excerpt from Wander. And it's weird because sometimes I read things, I read my books, and I go, that's really good writing. Who wrote that? And it's, it's like, it was you, dummy. Let's go. So, it's amazing. Like there was this one line, I think we have time. There was this one line, and it's still sticking with me. When I was telling Dolly, where Coda was saying, I'm a Jedi, and Frank is saying, you're a Sith, right? And she goes, shit. And he goes, that's just a scrambled Sith. Now pay attention. And that just came out in the moment. But I'm looking at that writing going, wow, that wasn't too bad. I'll take that one. Good morning, RC. We're about to end, RC. Sorry. It's like we got like less than a minute. But thank you for popping in the midst of everything that you're doing, and thank you for being on the friends. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad that I'm feeling better too, RC. Yes, Ava's parents. That's what you said. It was great, Malcolm. That was a good short story. Had a lot of fun with that one too. It's been a pleasure, Sharon. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for all being here. I really appreciate it. Okay, well, that is the sound that we have to go. So be excellent. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. And our next show will be on the 8th. So I will see you then. I mean, really see you, but I'll be in the room every day. And thank you for everything. I really appreciate you all. Stay safe. Clean your hands. Wash the social distance. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Bye.